we go.
All right, Shalom. We are the Hebrew Israelites from the Indianapolis camp of the Great Millstone, and we're here to give all praises, glory, and honor to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Makakwadash.
Double honors to apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well in teaching us this 100% truth. Salutations to them and our fellow occupants who labor in this truth week in and week out on the highways and byways. Also salutations to the hopeful elect of the scattered 12 tribes of Israel, scattered to the four corners of the earth, that be like it to the circle bird. To you, we say shalom.
Shalom.
All right, let's get right into it.
All right, this is Isaiah 45 and 7. No, 17, excuse me. Isaiah 45 and 17. It says, but Israel shall be saved in the Lord with an everlasting salvation. Ye shall not be ashamed nor confounded, world without end.
Khan is talking about the nation of Israel only is going to have everlasting salvation. That's us going and having immortality when Yahweh Shah comes back to lay this place to stubble, okay? And when I say this place, that means Babylon the Great, a.k.a. America. It says, ye should not be ashamed nor confounded, world without end. That means we will never be back in this low state again once he comes back to save his people, okay? The elect, is elect of Israel. That's the 1/3, according to Zechariah 13 and 9, all right? Go ahead.
This is Isaiah 14 and 1. It says, for the Lord will
Speak up.
This is Isaiah 14 and 1. It says, for the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel.
Now he says he will have mercy on Jacob and yet choose Israel, okay? And he's having that mercy on us, okay? You know, as we're in this foreign land, subject to all the laws of Esau, Edom, that are adverse to the scriptures, okay? He's having mercy on Jacob. And that's your 12 tribes of Israel, okay? Go ahead.
And set them in their own land.
That's us going back to that, going back to our home, you know, and according to the curses of Deuteronomy 28:68, he said once he kicked us out and made us bondmen and bondwomen, which are slaves over here in Egypt, the house of bondage, America, he said that we would see it no more, okay? But we are going to be going back home, all right, in those new bodies, you know, immortality, in rulership, you know. We will be in rulership. As the scriptures say, when the righteous rule the world, roughly paraphrasing. You got it? Go ahead.
Yep.
It's Proverbs 29 and 2.
It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 29, verse 2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn.
God, that's just like you said, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, okay? Right now, the wicked are in authority, okay? And they're mourning right now. Look at everything that's going on with the famine, you know, employment, inflation, you know, all of that stuff going on. All right, that's because the wicked right now, they're in the land, not ruling. Go ahead.
It's like you said, who's in rulership right now. This is Job chapter 9, verse 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked.
God says the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. Who is the wicked? Esau, Edom, according to Malachi 1 and 4. All right.
I'm there if you want to get that real quick. You want that real quick?
Yeah, go ahead and back that up and just so we can tell who the wicked is.
This is Malachi 1 and 4. It says, whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus said the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever.
God, see, Edom was the only nation of people called the border of wickedness. You know, like they said, they're going to return and build the desolate places. That's, you know, the fear when they came out of the Dark Ages, you know, rebuilding everything. Okay? And they think that they were going to rule forever. That's not the case. The Lord said he's going to throw down. All right? And destroy this place. This is where we're at right now. All right?
Like you said, that which will be, you know, called that Renaissance period, you know, for those who don't understand. So, back in Job chapter 9, verse 24, this the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof, if not where, and who is he?
God, he says he covereth the faces of the judges thereof. And the scriptures clearly give us a description of what Yahweh and Yahweh Yahushua look like, okay? In Daniel 10, 5, and 6, and Revelation 1, 13 through 15, okay? He doesn't look like what we call him on board, that nigga.
Yeah, nigga over there.
Yeah, that nigga over there. He doesn't look like that, that stringy-haired trailer park they call the one the world they call Jesus, okay? He says he covered the faces of the judges thereof, so we know that that's the face that they use. But who's the judge? Well, the head judge is Yahushua, according to John 5:22. All right? Because the scriptures say, the Father judges no man, he commendeth all judgment unto his Son. Okay? So we know who they covered him with. And by that, now we know who covered him. We know where you are. We know who you are. Esau, Edom. All right? All over the world. You know, you got your embassies. You know, you occupying all these other countries with your embassy. You know, you never stay at home, according to Habakkuk. You know.
Got that for you real quick.
Go ahead.
This first Maccabees, chapter 1, I'm going to start at verse 7 and point to 9. So Alexander reigned 12 years and then died, and his servants bare rule everyone in his place. And after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves, so that their sons after them many years, and evils were multiplied in the earth.
God, we know that evil is all over the earth right now because of this red man known as Esau, Edom. Okay, it's all over the place. You know, they go and push their democracy philosophies all over the world. You know, going in, robbing folks, taking their resources. You know, you got these rings of how will we say atrocious acts against children. You know, going over all the world. Okay, those are the things that they're doing. You know, that's how we know that the earth is given into their hands. Because those same things are going on everywhere, and they leave their mark when they go and do stuff. You know, changing stuff to their names. Okay, moving landmarks. Those things are the such. Okay.
What happened?
No, you don't have to get happy. Let's get back to his Isaiah 14 and 1.
This is Isaiah 14 and 1. It says, "For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land.
God.
And the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob."
God, and those strangers are the Israelite foreigners. Okay, you so-called other nations want to call yourselves the strangers. You forget there's two types of strangers and two types of Gentiles. But the strangers that we're talking about are the ones in Ephesians 2, 11 and 12. Somebody get that?
Ephesians 2.
Yeah, 11 and 12. Those are the strangers.
I got it.
You got 1 Peter 2? Okay.
This is the book of Ephesians, chapter 2, verse 11. "Wherefore remember that ye, being in times past Gentiles in the flesh, who are called uncircumcision by that which is called the circumcision in the flesh made by hands."
God, so we were in times past called Gentiles, okay? That's because we took on the customs of those nations that we were scattered to, okay? And now that they were coming back to their heritage in their time as we are in our time, you know, we are of the circumcision, all right?
Verse 12. That at that time ye were without Hamashiach, being aliens from the commonwealth of Israel, and strangers from the covenants of promise, having no hope, and without the Most High, Yahweh Hashem Yahshai, in the world.
God, so what pretty much just saying, you know, without Yahweh Hamashiach, you know, we just out there, okay? We were strangers, just like the scripture said. And that goes back into that stranger that he was talking about in Isaiah chapter 14, verse 1, okay? So those strangers are Israelites, not people of other nations, all right? Salvation is only for the nation of Israel. You had something in 1 Peter?
Yeah.
Isaiah 4? 45 and 4. Yes.
Okay, yeah. This 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 1, and the title says, "A living hope and a sure salvation." Peter, an apostle of Yahushua HaMashiach, to the strangers scattered throughout Pontus, Galatia, Cappadocia, Asia, Bithynia, elect according to the foreknowledge of the Most High the Father, through sanctification of the Spirit, unto obedience and sprinkling of the blood of Yahushua HaMashiach, grace unto you and peace be multiplied.
So he's saying to those strangers that were scattered. Okay, that's talking about the nation of Israel. We were strangers. We were strange to our homeland. Okay, which was the nation of Israel, born away from that, born into the other customs, just like us here, born in the United States. You know, strangers to our homeland. Okay, not knowing our original language, not knowing our original heritage, but now we're coming back to it. Okay, you have some more to add on to that?
So when it said elect, that's what I want you to do.
Okay, this is the book of Isaiah chapter 45, verse 4. And it reads, For Jacob my servant's sake, and Israel mine elect, I have even called thee by name, I have surnamed thee, though thou hast not known me.
So like I was saying, when it said elect according to the foreknowledge, this is the elect of the nation of Israel. Like you said, Israel, mine elect. So it's not the body of believers, all the other nations who say they believe in Jesus Christ. No, it's not those people. It's the chosen, the elect of the nation of Israel solely. That's who salvation is only promised to. It's not promised to anybody else who, oh, I believe too. You know, no, you don't believe. Because when we go into these scriptures and we bring out the truth of the matter is, you come against us because it's in your spirit that you are against, in that verse, to the truth of Yahweh Bashim Elohim. So that's why I said elect, who he had foreknown, who he put his name on, his elect. Again, like we're speaking of, it's the nation of Israel. And I wanted to get these next two verses.
Okay. Sure.
Back in 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 3, blessed be Yahweh Bashim Elohim, Father of our Lord Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, which according to his abundant mercy hath begotten us again, right? Again. Meaning you have to be at the point in time before to come back again. Right? So like I said, going to that returning. You can't return to a place that you've never been before. So those who are being brought back according to the abundant mercy to Yahweh Bashim Elohim is the Israelites being namely the elect of the nation of Israel in this time. It says, unto a lively hope by the resurrection of Yahweh Shai HaMashiach from the dead, to an inheritance incorruptible and undefiled, and that fadeth not away, reserved in heaven for you. So like how we understand that, let's say you should be saved with an everlasting salvation, world without end. There'd never be another time period when we see the kingdom, under Yahweh Shai, King David, the elect and so forth and so on. That kingdom that's going to be given unto us will last forever and forevermore. There'd never be a time period where we'll fall short, we'll sin against Yahweh Shai, and you got to punish us again, because the law, statute, commandments will be written in our inward part. We will never sin again against Yahweh Shai, meaning what? We'll never receive death, and we'll never transgress the laws to be punished, to have the kingdom taken away from us. Right? Okay, he says to an inheritance that's incorruptible, right? This corruptible must put on incorruption. This mortal must put on immortality. In the twinkling of an eye, we shall all be saved. But we shall all be changed. But at the end of the day, as the scriptures say, all Israel shall be saved. So all of the Israelites are going to have that incorruptible body. That undefiled, they say that fadeth not away. Remember, our kingdom will never fade away. If is that Daniel 7 and 18?
I can get it. So he says Daniel 7.
Get that real quick, and I'll get this last verse. It say verse 5, who are kept by the power of Yahweh Bashim Shai through faith. They talk about us being faith-based Israelites, but they say through faith. Right? Because without faith, it's impossible to please him anyway. Right. Unto salvation, ready to be revealed in the last time, and we are in the last times right now. So we're waiting for all these prophecies to be revealed, and ultimately that last and main revelation is going to be what? The destruction of this place, and then the salvation of the elect of the nation of Israel, and Israel being put up on top forever and forevermore.
You got it. You got it.
Daniel 7:18?
Yeah.
This is the book of Daniel, chapter 7, verse 18. It says, but the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever.
So that's going to it being incorruptible, it being undefiled, the ultimate being what? That it never fadeth away. Meaning we'll always be present in the kingdom. So it'll never be given to another. In any given time, any given facets, the nations will always be subjected underneath us, because we're going to be those righteous rulers by promise that he promised to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and then to the rest of the descendants. If that was the case, if there was any changes in that promise, that'll make Yahweh Bashim Shai a liar. And we know that Yahweh Bashim Shai is not a man that he should lie. You know what I'm saying? So the coming future, your future rulers, who you look at on the highways and byways or in these epistles, who you scoffing and mocking at, calling them this, calling us this, calling us that. You got the bad rolls, the towel rolls, whatever the hell y'all want to call it. These are the same people who you mocking and scoffing at. It's going to be those rulers that's going to reign over you in righteousness forever and forevermore.
Just when he mentioned in that Daniel, he says the saints of the Lord, right?
Yep.
So this is the book of Psalms, chapter 148 and verse 14. It says, he also exalted the horn of his people.
That horn is that power, you know? Okay?
Yep. The praise of all his saints, even of the children of Israel, a people near unto him. Praise ye the Lord.
So those saints are the nation of Israel, okay? Not some, what was her name? Golly. Mother Teresa. Yeah, people getting all these sainthoods and stuff like that. No, the saints are the nation of Israel.
Right.
Nobody else, okay? Same thing with that whole Christian thing. You know, the original Christians are Israelites, okay?
I got one more thing.
One more thing?
In that Daniel, chapter 7, verse 27, it say, and the kingdom and dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints, right, of the Most High, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominions shall serve and obey him.
So that's pretty much straightforward. Telling you who those saints are, who this everlasting kingdom is for, and who everlasting salvation is for. It's only for the nation of Israel, no other nation. All right?
Quick one, real quick.
Okay.
This is Malachi 3 and 6. This is, for I am the Lord, I change not. Therefore ye sons of Jacob are not consumed.
God, he says, he is the Lord, he changes not. Okay, and I think there's a precept in Hebrews 13 and 8 that said the same thing about the Son. Okay, he said he's the Lord, he changes not. Okay, so you people who are just, you know, try to throw out that excuse that we rejected him. You know, he even says in the scriptures, he has not cast his people away. Like, okay, he has not cast us away. Now, he hid his face from us for a time because we transgressed against him, but he said he's going to call us back, have mercy on us, and give us that everlasting salvation.
All right, because ultimately what? It was made for us, the children of Israel, to go off to complete what? His storyline, the movie that the Lord set up. All right, so that's why he is going to have mercy on us, because he's the one that caused us to go off. If you really look at it, because he's in control of everything, you know?
So the game is rigged.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. You know? That's right.
Okay.
You say you had something?
Did you want that Hebrews?
Yeah, Hebrews, just to back up the time. Then we get back to Shaka.
This is Hebrews chapter 13 and verse 8. It says, Yahawashi Hamashiach, the same yesterday and today and forever.
So it's pretty much like father, like son, you know? He does the same thing. He tells us that in, I think it's Exodus 23, 21, 20 and 21. You know, he's going to, somebody want to get that for me right quick?
So Exodus 23.
Yeah.
I'm on my hand. Okay.
I got it.
Go ahead.
This is Exodus chapter 23, beginning at verse 20. Behold, I send an angel before thee to keep thee in the way and to bring thee into the place which I have prepared.
God.
Beware of him and obey his voice. Provoke him not, for he will not pardon your transgressions, for my name is in him.
God says, for my name is in him. So that right there proves that the true names are Yahweh and Yahawashi. Okay? He says, my name is in him. You want to keep going?
Verse 22. But if thou shalt indeed obey his voice and do all that I speak.
See, he says right there, do all that I speak. So that there proves that, you know, the Father and the Son are two different entities. Okay? And he does the will of the Father. He says he will do the things that I speak. You know, just like his servants did. You know, like he says, he spoke by the mouth of the prophets from the beginning. Okay? He's not going to come down off his throne and do these things himself. That's what he has us here for. His servants, the prophets. Okay? Just like what he's telling you right here. Keep going.
It says, then I will be an enemy unto thine enemies,
God.
and an adversary unto thine adversaries.
God. So that's the thing. You know, as long as, you know, we obey him. He said, do the things that I speak. You know, that he speaks on my behalf. That obedience, he's going to cover us all the time. Okay, and that's what we're coming back to. That's what this world is afraid of right now. You have his sheep are hearing his voice right now. We're turning back to the law, statutes, and commandments. We're repenting, having that faith, doing this work. And those are the things he wants us to see. He said that we will remember the ways of our forefathers that sinned against him. And that's true. When you read the scriptures, you're like, man, why do we go off so much? Why did they go off so much? We blaming them when that was actually probably us in the past life, if you can receive that. Okay? But here again, it is the thing is we are remembering the ways of our forefathers who sinned against him, and we're turning away from that, turning away from our wicked ways and calling on his name in this land of our captivity, all right?
Yeah, cool. Back up what you were saying. This is John 12:49. It says, "For I have not spoken of myself, but the Father which sent me. He gave me a commandment, what I should say and what I should speak. And I know that his commandment is life everlasting. Whatsoever I speak, therefore, even as the Father said unto me, so I speak."
So here again, that's the Father and the Son in agreement. So when he says the Father and I are one, that's what that means. That doesn't mean that they're the same person. Just like we brought out before in John 5:22. The Father judges no man, he commendeth all judgment to the Son. So why is he going to give it to the Son to only give it back to himself if it's one person? That makes no sense. All right?
just to make that point. Matthew 17:5. While he yet spake, behold, a bright cloud overshadowed them, and behold, a voice out of the cloud which said, "This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased.
Right.
Hear ye him."
So he's telling listen to what what I tell him. You better listen to it.
Go back to the angel.
Yes, going back to that angel, because he said he will not pardon your transgressions. Okay, who has the power to pardon? A judge. Okay, and just what he brought out earlier, he covered the faces of the judges thereof. We told you who the head judge is right now. So that's the thing. He is the judge of all things. Revelations 19:11. It says he comes back to bring judgment and war. Okay, and it's going to be in his hands. So everything goes back to Yahweh Shai Mashiach. He is that mediator. All right. Okay, Shak. Isaiah 14.
Isaiah 14:2, it says, "And the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids."
So that's all you other nations who ever put your hands on us, going into slavery as bondmen and bondwomen. You're going to be servants. I know that one you like to bring out the Maccabees all the time. Go ahead. Anybody who touched us.
I got you. Yeah, I got you. I had Jeremiah.
Jeremiah, okay, that's fine.
Did you want to finish that? And then I'll get it.
Go ahead.
It says, "Whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors."
So whose captives they were. So everyone that we were under captivity under are going to be under captivity of us. Okay. Yeah. You are going to be our servants. This is long overdue. And we sign and crying every day because we're tired of this stuff. Getting up and just being vexed by this world. Okay. It's like you can almost taste the salvation that's near. You can see everything that's on the table, and you got a lot of people out here, mainly Jake, who don't know what the hell is going on. Okay?
I got Jeremiah, and I got that what you said. It's Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 16. "Therefore all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thy adversaries, every one of them."
Like we said, all thee that devoured us shall be devoured. That ties into that one of my favorite scriptures, Colossians 3:25. He that doeth wrong shall receive him wrong for what he had done. There's no respect of persons. Okay, so it's out there. You just can't, and especially you, Esau. You can't. How dare you expect to do all this dirt that you do, and expect to take part in the salvation just by repenting, which you can't repent. The Father said he put you by, and that's in 2 Ezra 3:16. Yeah, he put by Esau. Okay, when you look up that word put by it means reject. Okay, we know in Hebrews 12, 16 and 17, you were rejected. Okay, and I think the archaic definition of that is to lay aside or save. And by that, we know that he's laid you aside for the day of destruction. I think that's in Job 21 and 30. Okay, laid you aside. So, and that's because, just like the scripture says, the time you like to bring this one out, he is not in trouble like other men.
Right.
He's not plagued like other men.
Right.
All right, and that's why, you know, yeah, it looks good for you right now, but it's man, it's, you know, our salvation means doom for you. You know, after you served your slavery, you know, for 1,000 years. Go ahead.
Let's say every one of them, jumping real quick to Maccabees. First Maccabees chapter 2, verse 10, well, point to 10, we'll start at verse 9. Her glorious vessels are carried away into captivity. Her infants are slain in the streets, her young men with the sword of the enemy.
Fine. That's what they're doing right now. You know, first of all, you have, you know, all of our vessels and stuff. And we know it's in the Vatican right now. Okay, all that stuff locked up that we had in our ancient temples. All right, go ahead.
And then, you know, like I said, also us being the vessels of Yahweh Shem Shah. Like I said, so like you said, that's true. They have all of our possessions and stuff like that. But then also, we ultimately those vessels of Yahweh Shem Shah.
God, those vessels of honor, just like you said. Yep.
And it say, here's a point, verse 10. What nation hath not had a part in her kingdom and gotten of her spoils?
What nation? And if it has to ask that question, that means all of y'all.
Right.
You know, all of y'all took part in our stuff, whether you were directly involved or not. Especially you, Esau, even in Egypt. You know, we weren't under your captivity, but you were slaying us if we were leaving out. Okay, old and young. Okay.
That's right.
Because like even like, you know, starting with the major nations that we know about, but then also you minor ones, because y'all still take part in them councils, those United Nations meetings and these summits and this and that, and y'all okay with it.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all ain't, you know, we gonna receive aid and we gonna receive this, we gonna do that. Y'all, everybody all in favor, aye.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all don't bat an eye and no, that ain't right, that's wickedness. No, you with the you pretty much go along to get along.
Wow.
Therefore, ain't none of y'all speaking about on behalf of us, on our part. No, y'all okay with it. As long as y'all can get what y'all can get out of these bigger nations, then y'all good. Y'all, you know, so ain't none of y'all, you know, sign the crime for us or what happened to us. So that's what it said, what nation? So ultimately, as a whole, all of y'all have pretty much taken part in our destruction, you know, in our spoils. And
Hey, rather major or minor, guilty by association.
Yep.
Yeah, and then they know who we are. Wasn't it just like 5 or 6 years ago that African leader was apologizing for what they did to us?
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. He made a huge. It never called us the Israelites, but was sorry for selling us. Nah, man. You got that stuff coming too late now. Yep. Old Tyree.
Right.
It say, if they finish in Jeremiah 30 and 16, it say, therefore all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thine adversaries, every one of them, shall go into captivity. And they that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey.
God, so you know you're gonna be robbed and spoiled too, righteously. Okay, you're going into captivity righteously. Okay, we're not gonna do the heinous stuff that was done to us, like Esau Edom did to us. You know, that was just awful. And you see now all of that stuff is coming out what you did. And, you know, outside of hanging us and burning us. You know, now these references are coming out that you were eating us as well too. All right, just a whole lot of dirt. You know, these man-made lakes that's going around here. Jake's whole living environment is under that water. You know, what was that Lake Lanier or one of them? Yeah, man, y'all did some heinous stuff. All right, yet you expect to take part in the kingdom? Hell no.
Or they don't think they got to pay for it.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, you commit all this evil and savagery and wickedness and diabolical acts and think there's no price to pay for it. You know what I'm saying? The same thing that happened to us for our wickedness and our transgressions. Well, what the hell you think gonna happen to you?
Right.
Right? And then in the scriptures speak about the heathens, it say the Lord scourges y'all 1,000 times more. So if he did this to his only people that he cared about and loved, what the hell you think he gonna do to you for people that he sees as nothing? Less than nothing. You know, just to make that point. Yeah, you know, it's a price to pay, and best believe you're gonna pay the piper.
You gonna,
I got some, we got some too.
okay. All right. Finish that Isaiah.
This is Isaiah 14 and 3. It says, "And it shall come to pass in that day, the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow, and from thy fear, and from the hard bondage wherein."
He says he will give us rest from our sorrow. And that goes back into that opening scripture that we will never be ashamed again, okay? He's going to give us rest. We will never, have to be submitted to to this wickedness again. At that point, that's where we'll have the new law, these new bodies, all of that within us, okay? Okay, we will be in rulership, all right? People will be serving us, okay? So, yeah, I mean, yeah, it's coming. It is coming. We can see with all the signs. Chariot sightings. You got World War III on the table. You got MOTV on the table. They just came out of this meeting in Switzerland. We're waiting to see what's going on with that. But we know we're going to have the opportunity to apply it to the scriptures and prophecy. Okay. So with those things being in place, we know that salvation is nearer than what we believe. All right.
I got something.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 30. I start at verse 3. It says, "That then the Lord thy power will turn thy captivity and have compassion upon thee, and will return and gather thee from all nations whither the Lord thy power has scattered thee. If any of thine be driven out unto the outmost parts of heaven, from thence will the Lord thy power gather thee, and from thence will he fetch thee."
God, so what he's saying there, he's going to take away our captivity. Take us from under these wicked rulerships. And he's going to gather us from all nations where we were scattered to. And that was to the ends of the earth, according to Deuteronomy 28:64. Okay? He scattered us everywhere. So for you nations that try to use that Revelations 7 and 9, saying he's talking about the other nations, no, that's talking about the nation of Israel, where we were scattered to, where we had to learn other tongues and other customs, okay? That's talking about Israelites by blood. So that salvation, that captivity he's turning, that gathering he's going to do, is not concerning any other nation outside of the nation of Israel. Okay?
Verse 5, it says, "And the Lord thy power will bring thee into the land which thy fathers possessed, and thou shalt possess it, and he will do thee good, and multiply thee above thy fathers. And the Lord thy power will circumcise thine heart, and the heart of thy seed, to love thy power with all thine heart, and with all thy soul, that thou mayest live. And the Lord thy power will put all these curses upon thine enemies, and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee."
God, so that's pretty much going to what the brother just read in Isaiah of 14. He's backing him up on that. We're going to go into that land that he promised us from the beginning. Okay? Back to our homeland. Okay? He's going to multiply us above our fathers. Everything that we lost, just like he did with Job, we're going to have that, 100-fold over. Okay? All those riches. We'll never have to be in need or want for of anything. And he said he will circumcise the heart. Okay, that circumcision of the heart is that new law. The law being within our inward parts. Okay, all right, and it's going to be with us, and it's going to be with our seed after us, and the seed after that. Forever. All right.
Here, I'll just do this last one real quick. Verse 8, Deuteronomy 30 and 8, it says, "And thou shalt return and obey the voice of the Lord, and do all his commandments which I command thee this day."
And pretty much he said, "We shall return and obey the Lord." That was the opportunity we had the first time, but blew it.
Yep.
Okay? And obey the voice of the Lord. That's what it was all about. Obedience to our covenant that we made. And the scriptures say obedience is better than any sacrifice. Okay? And he says, "And we will do all his commandments which I command thee this day." Okay? And then because it's going to be on our inward parts, we will never be able to go off again in those bodies that will never be corrupted again. All right?
All right.
I appreciate that.
Okay. Somebody keep the order from me.
I'll just go to you.
Okay.
Just real quick. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 23, verse 7 and 8. It says, therefore, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that they shall no more say, the Lord liveth, which brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. But the Lord liveth, which brought up, the Lord liveth, which brought up, and which led the seed of the house of Israel out of the north country, and from all the countries, whither I had driven them, and they shall dwell in their own land.
God, he said the seed of Israel out of the north country. What's the north country? That's here Babylon the Great. You know, and all of you said all the lands where he have driven us. That's what you know. That Deuteronomy 28:64. We were scattered into the ends of the earth. See, we're everywhere. You know, all over the earth, and he's going to gather us from the four corners of the earth. Okay, and bring us back.
Read that beginning part real quick.
It says, it's Jeremiah 23, verse 7. Therefore, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that they shall no more say, the Lord liveth, which brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt.
Right, because eventually we're no longer going to teach that, right? We're going to know who our power is, all right? Because the Lord going to give us the heart to understand, you know, all of Israel, you know, and the kingdom. We're going to totally know what's going on. Then the story's going to change and say, what? Go ahead.
Yep. But the Lord liveth, which brought up and which led the seed of the house of Israel out of the north country, and from all the countries whither I had driven them, and they shall dwell in their own land.
Yep, see, that's what we'll be talking about. Kingdom, yep. The new deliverance, you know? You know? They just want to make that point. Yep.
This is
Go ahead.
okay. This is Jeremiah chapter 3, start at verse 22. Return, ye backsliding children, and I will heal your backsliding.
God, he says, return ye backsliding children, and he will heal our backsliding. That return is essentially repenting. Okay? Turning back, admitting you were sorry for your transgressions against Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Okay?
Hey, and who can backslide but the children of Israel?
God.
The ones that were given the law, statutes, and commandments to the Most High, man. We the ones doing the backslide. These other nations weren't even given the opportunity to backslide. Backslide from what? When they weren't given anything.
God.
That's why it's all about the nation of Israel.
God, that goes into Amos 3:1 and 2. You know, according to your point, he's the only family we're the only family that he's known, the nation of Israel.
Sorry.
All right.
I looked up that backsliding means to be idolatrous. So it say, return ye backsliding children, and I will heal your backsliding. Behold, we come unto thee, for thou art the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Ashai, our power.
God, he said, our power. Okay? Our power, the nation of Israel. Joel 2:27. You know, he says he's in the midst of Israel, none else. You know, just roughly paraphrasing. Okay, he's only the God of Israel. All right? That's all he was coming to save. That's all throughout the scriptures. So I don't know where these other nations get this from. All right?
Oh, next verse for you. So, just what you said. Verse 23. It says, truly, right? So for sure, without a doubt, in vain is salvation hoped for from the hills.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, read that one more time. Hey, just in case y'all didn't hear this. Just in case.
Say it with your chest.
Jeremiah 3:23. Truly in vain is salvation hoped for from the hills and from the multitude of mountains.
God, and those hills and mountains is those representative of those other nations, okay?
Right?
Go ahead.
Your small governments,
Yep.
your major governments, like we spoke about earlier, in regards to who had a part in our kingdom.
Yep.
Whether he be a major government, major, nation, or he be a minor. It don't matter. They say in vain, and that term vain goes with without value, emptiness, worthlessness. And we can go home and say, truly in the Lord Yahweh Bashem Ashai, our power is the salvation of Israel.
How much plainer does it get than that, you know?
That's right.
That sums it up. It's only for the nation of Israel, no other nations. You know, you all are going to be under subjection to us when it's all said and done. And you know it's coming. You know, it's in your spirit. You know, we don't need no CRT. These scriptures are enough. You know?
I was looking up truly. It said certainly, surely, truly, verily, indeed. It's a strong with a strong assertive force. But indeed, but in fact, emphasizing the contrast. So, like we said earlier, the Lord is not a man that he should lie. So he said, truly, the salvation is hope from the hills. But truly, the salvation is ultimately going to belong to Israel.
Yep.
There's no hiccups. There's no gray areas. There's no sidetracking. No, he made that promise from the beginning, and he's gonna keep his promises. He's not gonna lie. That'll make him an unrighteous power to say, "Truly, I did this and that." Just like the book of Hebrews, like he told to our forefather Abraham, he said he swore by himself.
Yeah.
He said, "Lord, so I put it on me that I would keep these promises."
Right.
So, hey, that's all we need. We just gotta endure. The ultimate Lord will we endure to the end to receive that promise, to receive that inheritance, right? Ultimately, we know that all Israel shall be saved, so all Israel will. But we want to be, we want to make it be those first round draft picks. We want to make it on the first go around, right? We want to be a part of that governing body of the nation of Israel forever and forevermore.
But may I add just one to back up right quick. You had mentioned that if he did that, it would show unrighteousness in him. Okay, this is the book of Psalms, chapter 92, verse 15, and it reads, "To show that Yahweh is upright, he is my rock, and there is no unrighteousness in him." All right, so there's no unrighteousness in our power, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. All right, just back the brother up.
That's right.
All right. Oh, yeah, that's stop here. I'm a one. Go ahead, yeah.
This is Isaiah 11 and 10. It says, "And in that day there shall be a root of Jesse, which shall stand for an ensign of the people. To it shall the Gentiles seek, and his rest shall be glorious."
John, he says there should be a root of Jesse, okay? And that root of Jesse is talking about Yahweh Shai Mashiach, okay? It shall stand for an ensign of the people. Somebody get that word or ensign?
Ensign, a flag or standard,
Okay.
indicating nationality.
Okay.
Yeah, banner in it.
Banner, okay.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, he said that's a standard. He says, "Which shall stand for an ensign to the people." And you said a banner, okay. Now we know we talk about lifting up the banner, which is the scriptures, okay. And he says he comes in the volume of the book. It is written of me. All right. You got something to add?
I got something to add.
Yeah.
You said you got something?
And, ultimately, our Lord Yahweh Shai being an ensign, all right, he's that sign of salvation. All right, he's the one that we look to for salvation and deliverance from this wicked kingdom. All right, those are who those Gentiles are. Israelites who once didn't know they were Israelites. All right, and then when the Lord came on the scene, he brought back those Gentiles back unto the good graces of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahshai. All right, by giving them the truth. All right, and ultimately they seek to him, and we were once those Gentiles as well. All right, because at one time we didn't have the truth. All right. So he's the one that we're seeking to or looking forward to receive salvation and deliverance. All right.
Yeah, can I add to your definition? Ensign?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's ensign. It's in the Merriam-Webster dictionary. Just go straight to the point. It's a badge of office, rank, or power.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's knowing when Yahweh Shai returns and he gather the elect, he's going to also establish the rank, the order, the power upon the earth, which it would start with Yahweh Shai, King David, the 144,000, and then the multitude of Israelites that would then be gathered.
It's Isaiah 11:11. It says, "And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria, and from Egypt, and from Pathros, and from Cush, and from Elam, and from Shinar, and from Hamath, and from the islands of the sea. A lot of things. So,
Oh no. Did you finish reading it?
I thought it was just, I didn't hear you finish it.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
actually, I don't know.
Good
Yeah,
for you.
I don't remember.
Did you read the whole thing?
No, I'll reread it.
Just reread it real quick.
Okay,
just
read
make
it.
sure.
This is Isaiah 11 and 10. It says, "And in that day there shall be a root of Jesse, which shall stand for an ensign of the people. To it shall the Gentiles seek, and his rest shall be glorious."
God, and those Gentiles are the nation of Israel that was scattered to the other nations. Okay, once we was scattered and took on the customs and language and the ideology of those other nations. So once we start to come back to ourselves, we're going to we're going to be seeking Him. Once we learn our heritage, okay, and then he said our rest will be glorious because right now we're under the laws of other nations. We're subject to those, and those laws are contrary to the laws, statutes, and commandments, which continue to keep us going on. So we're seeking Him right now, regardless of being in this place. And the scriptures tell us, in Micah 2 and 10, arise ye and depart. This place is not your rest. Okay? And that's not departing from Babylon the Great. That's departing from the ways of Babylon the Great. Okay? And that's what we're doing right now. Once being Gentiles. Okay? And I say once because we've turned back. We're calling on the true name, doing our due diligence to make the calling of our election sure, rehearsing the righteous acts, okay, increasing in faith, doing these works, doing everything we're supposed to do within our power as our lot is assigned to come back to Him and seek Him, okay, all right, and like it says, by seeking Him, so that word seek is loaded with the things that I just said, okay, that's how we seek Him. He says, and once we do that, our rest shall be glorious. Okay, and we hope that it is. That's why we can continue to say, hopeful elect. Even though we're doing all those things, it's still not guaranteed a spot on that chariot. Okay, so that's how you remain humble. Don't just do those things and say, well, I did my part. No, it doesn't work that way. You got to continually do it. Like you said, he that endures to the end shall be saved. Okay.
I was just thinking as well, as far as like that ensign, and I think about it like also like a beacon.
Yep.
I had looked up beacon. It says the definition of a beacon is a person or thing that warns, guides, or offers support. And they say that root of Jesse, which we know is Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. It's a spirit of Yahweh Shai that's gathered its elect towards Him. And what the beacon does is it draws you towards it. It draws you to that light. And we understand that coming to the truth is being brought into this marvelous light. But all we do, we looking towards and we seeking Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. Saying that He's that beacon to the elect, right? It also said what? A thing that warns. Did we not send His prophets out to warn the people? Right? And then guides. Guiding through these scriptures, break it down for you, ultimately through the spirit of Yahweh Shai, He's guiding you. And also say what? To offer support. Because who's going to be that support in those perilous times that we're going to come into? Who's going to be that one that's going to be your refuge? Who's going to be that safe haven for when all hell breaks loose? It's going to be Yahweh Shai. So it was just something that I was thinking about when I looked at like a beacon, something that like an ensign, like a banner. You see a banner, everybody rally over here. It's like that beacon that you see that light, in that dark place.
Hey, quick precept real quick.
Yeah,
Hey, Matthew 5 and 14. It says, "You are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hid." I'll go ahead through it real quick. "And neither do men light a candle and put it under a bushel, but on a candlestick, and it giveth light unto all that are in the house. Let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven." Right. And that's like, hey, Yahweh Shai, man, this wisdom, knowledge, understanding, man. Hey, we're the beacons of the Heavenly Father, man, right now. All right? You got something? Yeah, go ahead and get that precept.
This is the book of John, chapter 8, verse 12. "Then spake Yahweh Shai again unto them, saying, I am the light of the world. He that followeth me shall not walk in darkness, but shall have the light of life."
And we're in a world full of darkness. That's why our light is shining amongst men, man. You can see if you've ever been in a dark room, even if you have a cigarette lighter or whatever, you light it up, it's gonna light the whole room up, man. When you're in complete darkness, man. And that's why I said, like I said, a city that is set on a hill cannot be hid, right? So you got that light at the top, that big, or a beacon. That's why they put that beacon up high, man, so you can see it right in outer darkness.
That's what it say a lighthouse
Yep.
is an example of a beacon.
Yep.
Right? For those
Yep.
ships and those barges that's out there at sea,
Yep.
can't see anything. What they looking for? They looking for that light
Yep,
to,
they know the shore's there. There's
you know what I'm
land.
saying?
Yep.
To guide them.
That's quote unquote like salvation if they got lost. You
Yeah.
know, same. That's how we look at Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, man. And His word.
God. And that, to your point, that light is only going to shine by having understanding of the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of these scriptures.
That's right.
Okay, it's like what I'm saying earlier. You talk about that banner, by embracing that thing. That all ties together. All right.
Oh, matter of fact, real quick, real quick, you made a great point. Let me hold this real quick. This is here we go. This is Isaiah 8:20. To the law, to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them.
There it is.
Yep.
There it is. Right there. That light comes from these scriptures.
Yep.
All right.
Like I said, they're not speaking according to the word. That means Yahweh Bashim Yahshua is not dealing with it.
That's right.
So like you said, that you in darkness and you looking for a way out there, refuge. Well, the best thing to be a refuge from that darkness is what? A light.
Yep.
And the people are in gross darkness, and we understand that the elect, the hopeful elect, gonna wake up to that marvelous light. They gonna wonder after that. When they talk about that tunnel at the end to be a light. So this is how your walk is. You searching for the truth. You in darkness in that tunnel, and then when you have Bashim Yahshua open your eyes, now you start to see that light at the tunnel, and what you do. Like I said, as that beacon, as that banner, it attracts you to it, and the Lord is gonna guide you into this marvelous light.
Yep. You got
Just
that?
holding that.
I got something.
Go ahead.
It has something to do with the light. So.
Go ahead.
This is 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 5. Ye are the children of light and the children of the day. We are not of the night nor of darkness.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so, us having this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, all right, us wholeheartedly believing in these scriptures, all right, we're walking in the light of Yahweh Shai. All right, a lot of these Christian churches, all right, they don't have the understanding of the scriptures, so they're pretty much walking in the darkness of what Esau Edom has set up in his society. All right, but we're not but through the grace and mercy of Yahweh Shai, all right, he had brought us out of darkness, all right, of the philosophies and the ways and the customs of this hell, all right, called America, all right, and we walk in the understanding of the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of Yahweh Shai, or Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. He says, we are not of the night nor of darkness, all right, so we're not in the confusion of this world, all right, because this world is just involved in gross darkness, all right, not knowing really true wisdom, right? Because the only true wisdom that you're really going to receive is the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua.
Right. Yep, just like we just read in Isaiah 8:20, man. Hey, you ain't coming out of this world, there's no light in you. We're to speak of the oracles of the Most High, right?
So what do people want to do at night? Sleep.
Yep.
So when you sleep, you are unaware to what's going on. Then spiritually, these people are spiritualists. They have no clue as far as what's going on, right? Unless the Lord draw their spirit into the light, so they become the children of the light. But if you're not going to be, if the Lord don't draw you into that, you will be the people of the night, and then what? You will get caught up in all the things that's going to come to pass. Ultimately, if you be 2/3, or even these heathen nations, especially over here in Babylon the Great, you're going to be destroyed.
Is it in the same chapter?
Yeah,
we don't have
if you
sleep
read
as
up,
do others. We don't sleep as do others.
No, it's
That's in First Thessalonians 5th chapter.
oh yeah.
I think that is.
Is it in the? Read down.
Verse 7.
Yeah.
I'm just keep going. This is 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 6. It says, therefore, let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober. All right, so not to be drunken with the ways of this world, with not to be caught up with the bread and circuses of this world. Or we have to, we have to be on our watch. All right. It says, "For they that sleep in the night, and they that be drunken are drunken in the night." All right. So the ones that's that's asleep are for example, that their mind is just strayed from knowing the things to come that are prophesied in the scriptures. Also knowing the righteousness that comes out of these scriptures. All right, they're ignorant of all that.
Right, and this is spirituality talking, man.
Yeah.
We're not up 24/7. Not sleeping. It's talking about spiritual sleep. In a dead state, man, not knowing what's going on.
And it says, "And they that be drunken are drunken in the night." Because one thing that Babylon the Great promotes is just a lot of wicked philosophies that has our people drunk. Our people are drunk off the alphabet movement. All right, our people are drunk off of what Christianity. Our people are drunk off of what setting heathen rulers over them, like voting for these presidents. Our people are just caught up in the folly of this world. All right. And it says, verse 8. It says, "But let us, who are of the day, who are of the that are in the understanding of the scriptures," it says, "be sober, putting on the breastplate of faith and love, and for an helmet the hope of salvation." All right. These are. So the understanding of these scriptures, this is what we're supposed to arm ourselves with. We're supposed to constantly pray to the Heavenly Father, all right, to keep arming us with these gifts, all right, and having the helmet that hope for salvation, all right, to strive unto the truth, enduring to the end, all right, because where it said be sober. We're not trying to be drunken, all right, with the philosophies of this world. We're not trying to get caught up into what the world is caught up in. We're supposed to be focused on what Yahweh Bashim Yahshai wants us to be focused on. Watching the prophecies, all right, making sure that we're examining ourselves, to the best of our ability on a day-to-day basis, man. Because it is a spiritual warfare, all right, according to Ephesians the 6th chapter.
Sorry.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I had one.
Go ahead.
Real quick. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 3, verse 15. It says, "And I will give you pastors according to mine heart, which shall feed you knowledge and understanding." So as it's been displayed, and as we get further and further to those when we get into Jacob's trouble and those bad times start to really hit, people will then start to understand, who the true prophets of the Lord, that the Lord has actually sent forth to actually give the true knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of these scriptures.
All right. That being said, we hope this lesson was edifying for the body. Once again, we want to give all praises, glory, and honor to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Akakwadash.
Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who were well and teaching us this 100% truth. Salutations to them and our fellow Akim who labor in this truth week in and week out on the highways and byways. Also salutations to the hopeful elect of the scattered 12 tribes of Israel, scattered to the four corners of the earth, that be like to the speckled bird. You say Shalom.
Shalom.
Abba Babal.
Abba Babal.
Kwam Yasharala.
Kwam Yasharala.
All right, Shalom.